What would you do if the woman you loved, the woman you built a life with, shattered every promise, every dream with a single, careless text message? I never thought I'd be the man asking that question, but here I am. It was 2 a.m., the blue glow of her phone screen illuminating the ceiling of our bedroom. I'd woken to use the bathroom, and as I passed, a notification flashed across her locked screen. "Can't wait for tomorrow, my love. He'll never know." My heart stopped. The air left my lungs. My world, once so solid, began to crack, and I knew with a chilling certainty that nothing would ever be the same again. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The next morning, Sarah was all smiles, humming a tune as she made coffee. Her usual morning routine, yet everything felt tainted. Every touch, every glance, every word felt like a lie. I watched her, a stranger in my own home, and the humiliation burned hotter than any anger. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was the sheer audacity, the casual cruelty of it all. She was so confident, so untouchable, believing her secret was safe. Over the next few weeks, I became a ghost in my own life. I'd leave for my job as a software engineer in downtown Dallas, but my mind was miles away, replaying that text, searching for clues. Sarah started coming home late, always with a flimsy excuse. Traffic, late meeting, girls' night. She'd disappear into the guest room for important calls, her voice hushed. The receipts in her purse, once ignored, now screamed at me. A fancy dinner at the Oaklawn Steakhouse, a boutique lingerie purchase from Lace and Silk on McKinney Avenue, not her usual store. I started tracking her. It began subtly. I installed a discreet GPS tracker on her car, a small device I'd bought online. The first time I saw her car parked outside the Grand Hyatt Dallas, Fort Worth, at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday, my stomach churned. It wasn't a business trip. It was a rendezvous. I drove past, my hands gripping the steering wheel, my knuckles white. Through the lobby window, I saw her laughing, her hand on the arm of a man I didn't recognize. He was older, slick, with a smug smile that made my blood run cold. The emotional toll was immense. I'd sit in my office, staring at my computer screen, unable to focus. My colleagues noticed my withdrawn demeanor, the dark circles under my eyes. "Everything all right, Mark?" they'd ask. I'd force a smile, a lie. At home, I'd pretend to be asleep, listening to Sarah's hushed whispers on the phone. Her giggles, her promises of forever. Each word was a dagger, twisting deeper into my already broken heart. I cried silently into my pillow, the man I once was dissolving into a puddle of pain and despair. But then something shifted. The tears dried. The despair hardened into a cold, calculated resolve. I wasn't just hurt. I was furious, and I was going to make her pay. I started gathering proof meticulously. I set up a hidden camera in our living room, capturing her late-night calls, her furtive glances at her phone. I recovered deleted texts from her old tablet, a treasure trove of illicit conversations with Chad, the smug man from the hotel. Their plans, their pet names, their cruel jokes about me, it was all there. I even found a picture of them together, kissing at a bar on Lower Greenville. I consulted a divorce lawyer, a sharp woman named Ms. Albright, whose office overlooked the bustling streets of downtown Houston. I laid out my case, the evidence piling up on her mahogany desk. She listened, her expression grim, occasionally nodding. "This is solid, Mark," she said, her voice firm. "We can hit her hard, but I wanted more than just a divorce. I wanted her to feel the same public humiliation, the same utter destruction that she had inflicted upon me." My plan began to unfold. I created a burner Facebook account, carefully crafting a persona that seemed like a concerned citizen. I joined the Dallas Community Forum, a popular local Facebook group where everyone knew everyone. I waited, watching, learning the rhythm of the online community. Then, one Tuesday morning, I struck. I posted a carefully curated selection of Sarah's most damning texts and the photo of her and Chad, blurring their faces just enough to create intrigue, but not enough to hide their identities from anyone who knew them. My post was simple, direct. Is this the kind of person we want representing our community? A local wife, cheating on her husband, flaunting it for all to see? I didn't name her, but I didn't have to. The details, the locations, the context, it was all too clear. The post exploded in hours. It had hundreds of comments, shares, and reactions. People I knew, people Sarah knew, strangers from across Dallas. They all weighed in. The outrage was palpable. Sarah's name, though not explicitly mentioned, was whispered, then shouted. Her reputation, once pristine, was shredded. Her friends, her colleagues, her family, they all saw it. The comments were brutal, unforgiving. The fallout was swift and devastating. Sarah was fired from her job at the prestigious art gallery on Flora Street, her moral turpitude cited as the reason. Her social circle evaporated. Her family, once so proud, now looked at her with shame. Chad, it turned out, was a married man himself, and his wife, alerted by the viral post, filed for divorce. Naming Sarah in the proceedings? Sarah was not just socially ruined. She was legally entangled in a mess of her own making. I watched it all unfold from a distance, a quiet observer. There was no joy, no triumph, only a profound emptiness. The revenge was complete, but it hadn't brought back the man I was, or the life I had. I sat in my empty house, the silence deafening, the blue glow of my own phone screen reflecting the cold, hard truth of what I had become. The silence of her absence was the loudest sound I had ever heard. The end.